Alright, what's going on, you guys? This is Kevin, Full Metal Ginger, and yeah, man, got another tape update to do for you today. There's not a ton of them in here or anything. I think I've got maybe, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. So not a lot. We should be able to get through this fairly quickly. So I've got some 2020 albums to talk about, finally. I mean, I know it's only July, and I'm just now talking about new releases. I've got some Headsplit stuff to talk about. Either they released it themselves or it's just something they've reissued recently, within the last year or so. A lot of good stuff in there. And up until recently, I didn't own any Vomitory albums, and was lucky enough to stumble upon Nuclear War Now one day, and they had 4 of them, the first 4 releases. So was absolutely stoked to pick those up, and really happy to talk about them today. So yeah, I guess we'll get right into it. Soundtrack today. So I don't know if any of you remember, it was either last year or the year before. I want to say last year. Hell's Headbangers did their $1 CD sale. And I don't know, I went in there and bought like 20 of them. I mean, just because they were cheap, I didn't care if they sucked ass or not. Most of them were of debatable quality. This was one I remember enjoying, and just never picked it back up. Or never picked it back up off the shelf after listening to it one time. But we have Diabolic Force, Praise of Satan. I want to say they're a Brazilian band, and I'm pretty sure this is their most recent full length. I really don't remember. I mean, this is a band that I didn't know anything about, and pretty much I listened to it one time and went right back on the shelf and haven't touched it since. But yeah, I remember enjoying it. So there'll be links below, like always, if you want to check these dudes out. So there you go. And I've been drinking this slush my wife brought home, and probably shouldn't have, but I poured a bunch of Full Throttle in here. So I might get a little peppy towards the end of this, or maybe, here in just a few minutes. Oh, it's sweet, dude. As a kid, I could handle this shit. I can't do it anymore. Anyway. I guess we'll start with the 2020 releases, just get these knocked out, because I know I've seen a few people starting to talk about these, and I don't want to be another Johnny-come-lately. Let's just get them done, and that way, I hate when I do that, when people really jump on an album that I've had sitting in here forever, and then it's just like, well, fuck, now I feel like I need to talk about it, but everyone's already done it, so that annoys me. But yeah, the first one I got, I'm not sure if I can even really show this on camera. Let me fix this. I may get in trouble, but, don't tell anybody. But we've got the new one from Shitfucker. Yeah, you see it? Sex with Dead Body. Now this one took me a while to it definitely took a few listens for me to get really into it, and I was trying to figure out what it was that was missing that I mean, I absolutely love Suck Cocks in Hell, but this one just felt way different, and after going back and listening to that one, I think it's where on Suck Cocks you had a few songs like Smash Your Skull, and but you also mixed it up with stuff like it had a little bit more classic speed metal sound to it, a little more of those riffs involved, and but this one seems more like the Smash Your Skull stuff as opposed to a lot of Graveyard Revel or Sex Dungeon, pretty much. So after going back and re-listening to that one and kind of compare it to this, I see where I was missing out on it, because this one's more of just that bludgeoning style like you get in the Smash Your Skull songs, and it's more or less the whole album sort of like that. There's not those classic riffs that I consider like the old school 80s style riffs. They're in there, but it's not as prevalent as it was before. So that's probably why it was taking me a while. And still, man, I don't really know how well I appreciate this album. So I mean, but it is getting better every time I listen to it. So I don't want to sound like I'm trying to denigrate it. I mean, it's still a sick album. Plenty of raw sleaze. I think most people could probably get into this. I don't know. It's just, and I shouldn't do that, but I'm bad too. If I really, really like a certain album from a band, anything else they put out after that, or even before that, really is going to get compared to it. Now, I shouldn't do that, just because it's really not fair. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't enjoy this. This is a pretty cool album. So I would definitely say recommend it. I want you to check it out. Really want to know what you guys think about it. Probably get in trouble, but yeah, there you go. That's the new one from them, and me personally, it's just taken a few listens to get into it, but I don't know. Yeah, absolutely let me know what you guys think about it. Whoop. Don't tell anybody. So these next two, I've already seen a few people talking about them, and I just, again, I don't want to be a Johnny-come-lately and, oh God, here's another person talking about these. But I've had these in for a little while, especially the one after this one, and, I didn't, it's whatever, but I just kind of wanted to get these out of the way before, you just are being bombarded by it. It's like, oh God, another one. This next one is, as of right now, it's early, but this is front runner for me for album of the year. I've just loved every note and every song on this album. It's the new one and the debut from Molder, Vanished Cadavers. I'm pretty sure most everyone who is, doing anything with the underground has heard this one by now. And if you haven't, you really need to go check this one out. Amazing death thrash out of Illinois, I believe. And just note for note, riff for riff, song for song, everything on here is amazing. Very, very well written, loaded with hooks, and even from the title track, or not the title track, the first track, Granulated Chunks, from there on it just never lets up. So if you're a fan of something like Asphyx, you probably really dig these guys. Sound very, very similar. There's even a Asphyx cover on here, so there you go. But yeah, man, it's just so well written, flawlessly executed, flawless riffs start to finish. Just can't go wrong with this. And as I was saying, I have no problem with saying this is currently, and I know this will change, but currently this is my album of the year. At least going forward it will be. But awesome stuff. I thought their demo was really, really good too, and then lucky enough to get this. I know, I'm pretty sure I got this on, I know Headsplit put out the tape version. There's a few other ones that came out, but this one sold out quick, and I was lucky enough to get one. So yeah, go check this one out for sure. You won't be disappointed. I'm pretty confident in that. I think most everyone watching this is going to really dig this. So there's that. And this one too, I've had this one in a while, and I was like, well, haven't I talked about it yet? And I was like, probably shouldn't have taken 3 months off at a time, and then do 2 videos and then take another month off. Might be why. I've seen people really starting to show this one lately. I've had this, probably the first one. This is the second new release I got in this year, but I've had this one for a while. And talking about a band that I say this on here all the time. I've got bands in this collection that are older than me that are just here within the last year or so putting out their debut full length. And these dudes have been around since '84, and this is their very first one. They I don't want to say they saved the best for last. It's not the end, but I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, here's Witch's Hammer. Damnation is my salvation. This one came out probably, I think, back in February on Nuclear War Now. And just pure old school evil sounding thrash. If you're a fan of Sodom, this will probably be right up your alley. Band's out of British Columbia in Canada, and I've read somewhere, it might have been in these compilations I have on vinyl, they were talking about being one of the bands that inspired Blasphemy to get started up. It should give you a general idea of what these dudes are all about. Just raw speed, pretty much. Can't go wrong there. There are a few old songs on here, and it's just kind of like, you couldn't have a full album that was, brand new, but it's whatever. This band has so much ferocity on it. These songs kind of really fit well with it anyway. But nothing but pure riffage on this album. That's all you really need to know. It just sounds dark and evil, and it's pretty fucking brutal. So one of my favorite bands here over the last few years. Been really trying to find anything I can from them. But the old songs on here are Frozen God, Witch's Hammer, and Deadly Mantis. And I want to say they were all on the Canadian Speed Metal comp. Don't quote me on that. That's just off of memory, so I really don't remember. But if you like old school, especially stuff like Sodom or Destruction, stuff like that, just kind of got that really raw quality. It just makes it sound a little bit more evil. This will definitely be something you want to check out. So, yeah, Witch's Hammer-Damnation is my salvation. And I'm pretty sure you guys have checked this one out by now. At least I hope you have. Alright, let's talk about some Headsplit stuff. At least Headsplit released, or... Actually, I mean, hell, I already talked about Molder, but, yeah, stuff that they put out or, reissued lately. This is a fun one, and, really short, but, this is probably my favorite demo right now. I've been listening to this almost non-stop. I've seen a few people talk about this one as well. This is the demo from Burnt Decay. I know absolutely nothing about these guys, who they are, where they're from, but if I had to compare it to anything, it'd be something like Angel Corpse, between, just like the really apocalyptic sounding guitars, and dude even sounds like a Pete Helmkamp when he's singing on here. I mean, the riffing sounds similar, so the only thing that's really different is the songs are extremely short. I mean, this thing clocks in like less than 5 minutes. But if you're trying to tie your shoes and brush your teeth or whatever and head out the door to go to work or school or whatever it may be, this is something easy that you could throw on and listen to it all in literally. I mean, it's like 4 minutes and 50 seconds long. So, I mean, that's like my one knock on it. It's like, I mean, everything sounds so good, you just kind of wish it was a little bit longer, but it's whatever. So I think this one originally came out, they released it independently, and I'm pretty sure Headsplit put this out last year, maybe late last year sometime. But yeah, I love the artwork, love the logo, love everything about this band, and cannot wait to hear more. So please get on it. God. And once again, I've been not happy with anything that's getting recorded on here, so I'm redoing it to the point my voice just gets so raw and scratchy I can't even talk without hacking. Alright, so this one is a demo from '92, and I want to say Headsplit put this one out. I think this one came out last year also. I really don't remember. It might have been this year, whatever. But yeah, awesome Seattle death metal band, and short-lived, which kind of sucks, but this is one I've been listening to quite a bit also. This is Infester-Darkness Unveiled. Yeah, pretty much just straight up kick-ass 90s death metal. If you like stuff like Rupture or Baphomet, whichever it is, the Buffalo band, this will be something you want to go check out for sure. Like I said, they were very short-lived. They did this demo. I believe they had a single that came out shortly after this, and then they did their full-length To the Depths in Degradation, I believe it was called. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if they just said, you know what, screw this, or, we'll call it a day and move on. Whatever happened. I mean, they pretty much dropped off the face of the earth. It seems like, I don't remember if it was this band. I'm pretty sure it was, but at least one of the members went on to do quite a few other projects, very notable projects that, people are talking about quite often, and I just, for the life of me, I should have wrote it down, but I just can't remember who it was or, what bands they were affiliated with, so, I mean, but I'll leave links below. You can probably track down the information yourself there. I should have did it, but it's whatever. But yeah, go look into this one. Really fun. Alright, I've seen this one pop up on a few people's videos, or at least maybe this is on Instagram or something. And this is another one. This is just fun to listen to. It's nothing you haven't heard before. It's nothing really crazy, but I mean, I don't know, I enjoy it. And it's another one that's pretty short. I mean, this one's only like 10 minutes, and this is a full length, so getting a little bit of grindcore coming your way. Death grind, really. This is Mortify with Stench of Swedish Stench of Swedish Buzzsaw. Yeah, Japanese death grind. I mean, you got the HM2 pedal on here, the title of the album, and basically all you need to know, it sounds like a grindcore band recorded their album at Sunlight Studios in 1992 or something. So that's basically all you really need to know. Two Japanese dudes and a dude from Chicago who does the vocals on this, and I cannot think of what bands he plays in. There's one in particular that I know I'd at least heard of, but yeah, he's doing vocals for this, and yeah, I mean it sounds like exactly the way, you know, what you would think of when you think of the title of this album. I really shouldn't have added so much Full Throttle on that drink. Yeah, really nice purple shell. And here's the J card. But yeah, like I was saying, short, sweet, to the point. I mean, it's, you know, it's a Swedish sound ripoff. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, 10 minutes long. It's just fun to listen to. I really kind of like held back on buying this for a long time. And, I mean, I've listened to it off and on, and then I was like, you know, screw it, let's just get it. And I've had a lot of fun with it. I mean, the artwork's cool, the music's pretty solid. I mean, there's nothing not to really like. If you're just trying to kill some time, or, you know, me being, you know, not a huge grindcore or death grind fan, it's got to be really specific if I'm going to, you know, be in love with it. But this is just a lot of fun to listen to, so yeah. You know, don't knock this one, go check it out. Whew, struggling today. This one I'm sure everyone knows, and if you don't know by now, what the fuck. Yeah, this is the second full length from Disgorge. The Mexico Disgorge, Forensick, or Forensick, if you want to be specific. Yeah, man, I think this originally came out on Repulse Records in 2000. Yeah, and this is the 2018 reissue on Parasitic Records. And Parasitic's been putting out a lot of good stuff too. I need to leave a link for them. If I remember, look right down there, and hopefully it's there. But yeah, I mean, what do you need to say about this? I think everyone is well aware of this band by now. It's weird, I don't know why, but I'm such a huge fan of the California Disgorge. For some reason, I just always forget about these guys, and it took me forever to get around to get at least buying their stuff. I mean, it's not like I hadn't heard them, but you know, it's once again one of those things, I guess, where I just ignore certain bands, not on purpose. It just kind of happens. But if for some reason you're not familiar with this band, it's pretty much just, you know, it's like a tank running you over in a swamp or something. It's just relentless noise with super gurgly, you know, disgusting vocals. I mean, it's filthy as fuck. This artwork will tell you everything you need to know. Extremely heavy band. Yeah, just, you know, reminiscent of like old Carcass. You know, the early days of Carcass. I mean, a little bit heavier, honestly. Or something like, I don't know, Waco Jesus, or fuck, yeah, Dead Infection, stuff like that. I mean, if you're into that, there's no reason you won't like this. But you know, I'm preaching to the choir here right now. I think everyone knows this one by now, so I'll try not to say another word about it. So there you go, Disgorge. Been meaning to talk about this one forever, also. So it's just whatever. All right, let's talk about some Vomitory. So like I was saying, at least I've recorded this so many times now I don't remember, but like I was hopefully saying, Vomitory being one of those bands I just didn't own anything from. Followed them from afar for however long and just never seemed to come across their stuff. And I don't know, a few weeks ago, Nuclear War Now, I just got on there one day and they had the first 4 full lengths. I was like, I'm getting them all, and because I knew those would sell out, and they did, man. They were gone. Maybe by the end of that day, they were all sold out, and I was just like, whew, you know, I can finally get some of those, you know, knocked off my list, and be able to enjoy them, you know, whenever the hell I want, not necessarily relying on YouTube or whatever. So we will run right through these, and these were all reissued by Floga Records, which Floga is just cranking out the tape reissues here over the last few years. I'd probably, you know, if I really sat and looked at it, probably close to half of, you know, at least the reissued stuff I have, it all came from Floga, so good job. So the first one we have is Raped in Their Own Blood, their debut from 1996. And if you don't know Vomitory, this is a band, a Swedish band, with pretty much no bad albums. I've not heard anything from this band I didn't like. Absolutely love this one. This one's no exception. Just absolutely great guitar tones, searing hot riffs. The drums cut through pretty well on this album. Not great, but they cut through pretty well. And speed out your ass, man. These guys are just riffing nonstop all the way through. And in my opinion, this is an all-time death metal classic. So, and pretty much most of what they've ever put out. But this one for sure. This one is a great place to start. And this is pretty much, if you're not that familiar with this band, this is where I would start. This is just, I don't know, did I show this side? Yeah, I did. The lyrics over here. But this to me is like, I don't want to say the pinnacle of their sound, but it's their most raw sounding and it's their most pure sounding. And it sounds like, I mean, they've been around since maybe 89, or maybe before that, but this one just feels like, they had finally got to that point where they could record it full length and they were just really into it, and it really comes across on this album. Just really jumps out at you, and it's just, I don't know, it's everything that, when you're a young band, and it's everything you aspire to get to, and then when you finally get to it, you really put everything you've got into it. And that's what I think of when I listen to this album. So that's, hopefully I didn't ramble too much about that. Alright, then we have their next one, which is Redemption. Came out, 99, I believe. The first one was on Fadeless Records. This was also on Fadeless Records. This one is a really good album also, so let me get that out of the way before I have to say what I have to say. But this one is a very, very compressed album. This one sounds, in terms of production, a lot like Grave, You'll Never See, that era of the band. I mean, it's just very compressed. And this one is the one that sounds a lot like a Swedish death metal album. And this is 1999. I mean, those days were not long gone, but, the Dismember, the Grave, the Unleashed, the Entombed, all that kind of stuff. Even later on at the Gates. We're past that by now, and this one is kind of sounding a lot like that, but it's still a great album, man. Sounds killer to me. That's just kind of like the one knock on it. So Ronnie Olson, who was singing for the band on Raped in Their Own Blood, he was gone by this point. He was one of the founders of the band, I think. And on this one, they got what was his name? UC Lina or whatever. He was singing for him at this point, and he's definitely got more of a guttural vocal to his style. So, I mean, to me, in terms of what the riffs they're playing, the guttural kind of fits a little bit better. But don't get me wrong, Ronnie's vocals were great also. And, this is just kind of like the one knock I have on this one is just, aside from the compression, this is still a great fucking album. But it's not like it's a complete deterrent for me to listen to it. It's just kind of, I kind of like their more raw style a little bit better. So, yeah, there's Redemption. Ooh, shit, I almost dropped it. And I almost dropped it again. Chill. Let's drink some more full throttle. I don't know why you guys watch these videos. Alright, so moving on. Their next full length was their, I believe this is their Metal Blade Records debut. Third overall, came out a year after Redemption. This is Revelation Nausea. And this one's back to the more classic sounding Vomitory, like what they sounded on Raped in Their Own Blood. It's more, not all over the place, but the compression is off. It feels like the brakes have been released and they're just kind of going and they're doing their own thing pretty much. It's not as controlled, so it feels more chaotic and more, all over the place. But in a, you know what I'm trying to say. So this one, it probably helped that they had a stable lineup on this one, and after this, the lineup pretty much remained virtually the same ever since, I think. So Revelation Nausea, to me, this is where the band kind of solidified their sound, and, this is like, how do I want to word this? It was sort of like their version of Covenant, or Tomb of the Mutilated, or things like that, where they kind of find their sound and they really get it locked in, and they start going from there, and it's just kind of like what to expect from them at this point. And this is kind of where it all began for me, in my opinion. Kind of where they've fully realized like their hybrid sound, because they kind of have a hybrid sound of like the American and the Swedish styles. So you have some Swedish riffs, but it's got more of an American kind of tone to it, if that makes any sense at all. And it really sounds great on here. So I mean, yeah, Revelation Nausea. It's just kind of like the where all that finally came together, and they were able to really start ascending pretty much. So I know UC was going after Redemption. So at this point, Eric Rundqvist, however you say it, he was doing bass for them on Redemption, and then on this one he took over vocal duty as well. So again, he's got another pretty guttural sound, so you can kind of see what I'm going at. And finally, I got their fourth album, which I think most people would consider it their best. It's probably my second, Blood Rapture. And like I was saying, you've got no lineup changes pretty much after Redemption, and it really helped them on this album because they took everything they did on Revelation Nausea and just sharpened it, made it more precise. The songwriting, the composition, the musicianship, it's just everything has been really amplified, and it's just been honed, and it's just perfected pretty much. And I mean, I can see why a lot of people consider it their favorite. For me, I just like Raped in Their Own Blood because it's so raw, it's so pure sounding, and I just can't get over that. So that to me is my favorite. But I mean, if you're going to get another one outside of that one, I would definitely recommend this one. I mean, easily their best in terms of overall writing and all that stuff I was talking about before. So definitely go with this one if you're going to look for like a more polished sound. Not that it isn't raw, but I mean, this is just kind of, from here on, they've got it locked in, and there's, I mean, this might have even been their peak. I don't know. I mean, there's a few albums I still haven't heard from this band, so hopefully I can get those as well. But these have been a blast to have, and I've been just having a ball listening to these pretty much off and on, at least every day or every other day. I've put one of these in and tried to jam it. So there we go. Kind of struggled through this one. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and probably need to go to bed here sometime soon. Oh, hell, it's only 8 o'clock. But thank you guys so much for watching. I've got I'm probably going to do a CD update next. And I've also got some stuff from Eli, Dark Hymns from the Cold North, and I got a tape from Ground Zero Salem, so I'd like to show those. So those will be next, and the CDs, I don't know what they'll be, but we'll go in here and find something good to talk about. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Check the links below for any of these bands if you haven't heard them yet. Go check out Headsplit, and I was gonna say might want to go grab those Vomitory tapes, but yeah, they're sold out. So check Floga, I guess. I think they put those out. Yeah, Floga put them out. So if you want to order from Greece, there you go. I'll quit rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.